All right. Good evening, everyone. We would like to thank all who are joining, our residents, our guests, our staff, and our council. So we will call this meeting to order November the 13th at 7 o'clock p.m. We will do some housekeeping. For this meeting, Trina Brown, am acting Mayor Pro Tem. In the absence of Mayor Takesha James, the mayor has requested to be excused from this from the council from the council work session and the council meeting, and due to work related matters. So I would like to call for the vote and a motion to approve the request to excuse Mayor Takesha James from council work session and council meeting due to work related matters.
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt.
Second?
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion approved. Next, we will have the opening prayer by our wonderful Councilmember McBride.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Gracious Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the blessing of life, health, and strength. We thank you for the town of Bladensburg, the mayor, and all those that work within the town. We thank you that we have love for one another. I ask you tonight, Father, to look upon the bereaved families that were their lives were lost on this month. I ask you to continue to heal them, strengthen them, and look upon our young people today with the troubles that they're going through in the schools. Help them to get things together, to understand one another, work together in peace and in unity. And I ask you to just bless Bladensburg as a whole so that we become a great community and we work together in unity and in love. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Councilmember Blunt, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? That's fine. So next, we're going to have approval of the agenda. So I call for the vote. Motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt.
Second?
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussions? Yes, we have one amendment. And so the amendment is that the swearing in of Joel Picardo, police officer, will take place in December. All in favor?
Aye.
There'd be nobody to the aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion has been approved, and the amendment has been approved as well of the agenda. Next, we're going to have approval of the minutes for October the 9th, 2023 council meeting. Call for the motion. Motion to approve October 9th, 2023 minutes.
So move.
So moved by Councilmember McBride.
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion approved. All right. I think we need to slow down a little bit. Next, we're going to have presentations. So, presentation, we have our guests from Congressman Ivy's office, Ethan Sweep, Community Liaison. So he's going to talk to us about the FY 2025 Community Project funding. So I'm going to hand it over to our town administrator, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, because she has controls of the meeting. He's not in person, so it's going
Yes,
to be.
he's on. So hold on one second. Mr. Sweep,
Okay.
you can unmute yourself. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Is that good? We're all good? Awesome. Thank you so much, council member, and thank you so much, council, for having me. I'm sorry I can't be there in person tonight. I am kind of a tight schedule, so this seemed like the best option. But I do want to remind you all that our office is here to help with whatever you may need, any types of constituent issues, especially with a federal agency. Feel free to reach out to our office, and we would be more than happy to help. But tonight specifically, I wanted to talk to you uh, more about fiscal year 2025 community project funding. So this is a grant program that is available through the House Appropriations budget. Every year at the beginning of the year, when the president announces his proposed budget, the different subcommittees of the Appropriations Committee decide what accounts will be open, what funding, what projects they're looking to fund, and the amounts. This year, we were able to submit up to 15 projects to the committee for approval, and we want to make sure that you all are as ready as you can be next year. So on December 4th, from 3 to 4 p.m., we will be having a webinar about the community project funding process, where we're going to talk more kind of in depth about what the process looks like, some lessons learned from this past year, be able to answer kind of a lot of your questions. I do want to stress that we don't know a lot about what this program is going to look like next year, or frankly, if it's going to exist. That is up to the discretion of the committee. But again, we'll be having that webinar on December 4th. So please, we would love to have you and answer your questions. In the meantime, if you're curious about learning more about community project funding, I would encourage you to go to the House Appropriations website, appropriations.house.gov. In the upper right-hand corner, there should be a button that says Member Requests, and it has this past year's guidance as well as the last several years. So you can acquaint yourself with the types of accounts and projects that have been available in the past to help get ready for hopefully the upcoming season. And then if you go to our website, ivy.house.gov, under services, there about the third tab down, there should be one that says community project funding, FY 2024. And there you can see the 15 projects that we submitted to the committee, as well as the accounts and the amount that is included in the current appropriations bill. So with that, I guess I'll ask if you guys have any questions.
Are there any questions from the council? Well, I would like to ask. So the funding. What's the ceiling? What's the amount of funding that the towns can potentially request? And what types of projects are they in specific areas like stormwater management or safety? Or,
Yeah, so
what?
so they're going to be kind of a broad spectrum. So there are some programs through EPA, like their state and technical assistance grants, that can help with stormwater. I believe there might have also been a FEMA line item open this year that also had to do with water. But then there's also the Justice Subcommittee that has the burn justice grants and other sorts of things for public safety. So it's just going to depend on what accounts are open, but there's a pretty big variety. And then in terms of the amounts, some of the guidances, once they come out, will list like an amount that you are able to request. But some of them are pretty open-ended. So I think this year we submitted projects. The lowest one was, I think, a couple 100,000, and the largest one was 10 million. So they didn't receive all of that funding necessarily, or at least that's not what's included in the appropriations bill. But I would definitely say, like, think big, not big projects.
So Ethan, are you, so basically, okay, I'll try it again. Capital projects would be, or something, so you're saying at least $1 million, or with a couple $100,000 to $1 million is what you're looking for? Is that, I mean, is something?
Yeah, so we're really looking for whatever. I would say the capital projects are probably the best option, given the budget of a lot of the small municipalities. This would be a good chance for you to get a large amount of funding.
Okay.
But yeah, whatever types of projects, from 100,000 on up, I would say go ahead and submit them, because we really look to the projects that come across our desk to get a feel of like what people want to be done.
Okay.
So Ethan, question, with something like that new town hall, you keep cutting out, Ethan, in terms of us hearing you. Okay, or maybe it's delayed.
It's the delay. It's the delay. It's the delay.
Okay, thank you.
It's a delay, yeah.
Okay, but yes, such as a town hall, a new town hall.
So I don't think so. That one is actually a little sticky. There was one account open last year that was used for, could be used for different types of building construction, but they specifically called out that it can't be a building for government use. So unfortunately, the town hall did not line up with the guidance.
Okay.
Okay.
So community centers, things like that, but not necessarily for government office use? Is that what the prohibition is, Ethan?
Yes, that was what was in the guidance this past year.
Okay.
So, if you want, we can meet and talk about it, and then
That sounds
when
good.
the guidance is released early next year, we'll take a look and see if that's still in there.
Thank you. That would be helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Well, we
thank
really
you so very
appreciate this.
much. Yeah, thank you so very much. Does the council have questions?
Could it be used for a trade school, trade center?
Yes, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. So there was a line item under housing and the subcommittee on housing and urban development. It was called the Economic Development Initiative, and that one I think specifically calls out workforce center, training centers, and other types of trade schools as a thing it could be used for.
And let me see. Okay. Anything? You have anything, Councilmember McBride? Okay. And but now, Ethan, I did hear you. Did I hear you say correctly that for FY 2024 there may or may not be funding for projects?
For FY, so it gets a little tricky because FY24 has actually already happened. That's the appropriation bill that's currently being discussed. So this is for FY25. But yes, so that's kind of the tricky thing with this process. You may have heard of them heard them in the past referred to as earmarks, and they went away for several years. And then during COVID, they were the Democratic Party, when they had control of the House, brought earmarks back. But it is up to the discretion of the committee whether or not they are going to have this process. And since we no longer have control of the House, we don't know kind of, how they're leaning. If that makes sense, it's up to the discretion of the committee whether or not this funding will be available.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much for that. Are there any more questions? Okay. Well, thank you, Ethan. We appreciate you joining us, and I'm sure there will be a follow up from our illustrious town administrator, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, and also from the mayor as well. So we appreciate you coming on. And if there's any additional information that you want to email us for distribution, please do so.
Okay, I will do. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks to Congressman Ivy and his office.
Nope.
Yes. All right.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have updates on the Annapolis Road crossing and pedestrian safety by Chief Collington.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council, residents, and colleagues. Tonight, I'll just be doing a brief update on pedestrian and school safety along Annapolis Road. We just want to remind everyone that schools are open and to be mindful, slow down. and be vigilant for our children and pedestrians crossing the street, because that stretch of 5300 block of Annapolis Road is 4 lanes, and it's a main thoroughfare that goes that encompasses Route 450 as well as 202. And early in the morning, during rush hour, a lot of motorists are utilizing that roadway to get down towards Washington, D.C., near the Peace Cross area. So we just want to remind everyone that to be vigilant. We have our children walking, as well as we have pedestrians that may be crossing the road to get to the bus stop. Next slide, please. We want to remind everyone that public safety is the responsibility of everyone. Within town of Bladensburg, we have 6,500 students that walk to and from school every day throughout the community. And we want to just remind everyone again to just be mindful of the posted speed limit, which is 30 miles per hour along Annapolis Road. That leads us into 2 incidents that resulted in the loss of life on Annapolis Road. On October the 18th, 2023, at approximately 6:58 a.m., a 73-year-old female resident of Bladensburg was attempting to cross Annapolis Road to board a Metro bus when she was struck and unfortunately killed by a speeding car who failed to remain on the scene. I want to thank and commend our Bladensburg Police Department, as well as the Prince George's County Police Department, our code enforcement, and our fire department, who responded to this unfortunate incident and rendered life-saving measures. But unfortunately, Ms. Fatuja succumbed to her injuries on the scene. This was early in the morning. As stated, we had multiple students walking to school with the parents. We had other walkers and pedestrians out in the neighborhood. This was an unfortunate scene for everyone to see. Unfortunately, the driver did not remain on the scene. We are investigating this. And again, I want to commend the officers of the Bladensburg Police Department for their due diligence and working tirelessly to bring this case to closure, which this investigation is going well, and we hope to close this out. But additionally, we want to ask anyone, if you were in the area of the 5300 block of Annapolis Road on the morning of the 18th around 6:58 a.m., if you witnessed this accident or if you heard anything about this accident, so please contact the Bladensburg Police Department at 301-864-6080. Next slide, please. So on Wednesday, November the 1st, we held a candlelight vigil in honor of Ms. Fatuja, as well as to bring awareness to pedestrian safety along Annapolis Road. We want to remind everyone, it may be in your benefit to walk a couple steps to the traffic light to cross. Again, that's 4 lanes of traffic with cars driving at high rate of speed. So for your safety, we would strongly suggest that you go to the crosswalk to cross over if you need to cross over Route 450 to board a bus or to get your children to school safely. Use the crosswalks and traffic lights. Next slide, please. So we want to do an update on the second fatality that occurred on November the 6th. This happened in the 4900 block of Annapolis Road. A 27-year-old male collided with a truck. This male was operating a motor dirt bike. He was not wearing a helmet, no headlights, and dark clothing. And again, exceeding the posted speed limit when an oncoming vehicle did not see the victim and unfortunately made a left turn in front of him and struck the person riding a dirt bike. Again, we want to remind our young people that out here riding these ATVs, riding these dirt bikes through our residential areas, to be responsible and not put them on the road where they are not equipped with safety features to protect you. So it is not wise to ride these dirt bikes and these motor vehicles, and not to mention that they are illegal to be out on our roadways. Next one. So we have some traffic solutions that will hopefully reduce pedestrian and motor vehicle safety. As a result of Ms. Vatuja incident, our mayor and council, along with our state and county legislators, are currently working with the Maryland State Highway Administration to come up with some solutions to improve lighting. Maybe we may have to work with Washington Metro Authority Administration to maybe move a bus stop that may not be in the best location for people to cross the street to board a bus. As a result, we also put a electronic message board out on 450 to remind drivers to slow down and be vigilant of pedestrians crossing the roadway. In addition to working with State Highway Administration, we're looking at putting the possibility of putting some traffic calming devices to slow motorists down, as well as putting a fixed speed camera at that location to slow drivers down and get them to obey the posted speed limit. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the council? Go ahead,
Chief,
Councilman.
is it a possibility that they may be able to do like the lines that are in the street, brighten them up, illuminate?
Crosswalk.
Yeah.
So that is in consideration as well. Put crosswalk there.
Councilmember Blunt. Okay. Thank you, Councilmember McBride. Thank you, Chief. And once again, definitely condolences to Miss Fatugas and her family. And to, as we talked about earlier in our work session, to any family who have lost a loved one or from an accident, whatever, along that roadway. So we definitely once again thank the police department, the fire department, code enforcement, the Prince George's County police officers for your due diligence. And I do know that, as we stated earlier, that our police department will bring this person to justice for fleeing the scene. And then also us working with our legislators and with State Highway Administration, PEPCO, and our town administrator, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, in looking at some short-term, long-term goals. And I definitely one of the other short-term goals too, to kind of slow traffic down, as I mentioned when we met with SHA and PEPCO and Senator Augustine last week, was where the public playhouse is. There's a pedestrian light right there, but the only time it's activated is when a pedestrian push the button. So if that light at least is timed with the light on the with the oncoming traffic on the other side of the street, that stops that traffic every 2-3 minutes, because like that traffic just flows. It doesn't stop at all because it only stops when that pedestrian light is activated. So we talked about that, yeah, and then the lighting as well. And I think that's something that the town has also offered it, if we need to expedite it. So you want to talk a little bit, mention a little bit more about the lighting during that meeting we had, Chief, with brightening, with the lighting with the LED lights?
Yes. So the LED lights that State Highway Administration were suggesting, they're cleaner, they're brighter, they're brighter than the iridescent lights that they currently have up there now. So that would illuminate the area a whole lot better, especially during daylight savings hours. So, and installing those brighter lights would definitely reduce collisions, help reduce, but it would definitely enhance the motorists' ability to see people early in the morning walking across the street.
Yeah, and then also we talked about some other some street some speed calming devices as well in both directions. because and the other thing too is like we have two schools there, the Bladensburg Elementary School and the international school. So, I mean, definitely applaud you all, and I think you're still kind of with the police department, kind of helping to lead the efforts from that public safety perspective. Because I know that from our meeting there were some follow up, some action items that that should be followed up on. So one of the things in terms of the short term. So for residents, what are the short term goals that can like happen? I guess in short term, what that mean within the next 30, 60 days?
So I'm not sure that they're planning to do any short-term provisions at this point. What we are doing from the police side is enhancing traffic enforcement out there, and then making sure that drivers do pay attention to the posted speed limit, and we do have the message board out there as well. And we'll be, myself and Ms. Hedgepath, we discussed during our meetings of doing some public announcements
Yes.
and posting to social media.
Correct, and using Blade TV to promote more of in regards to pedestrian safety and public safety. But I think the other issue that
I'm sorry, you said what TV?
Blade, which is our Blad TV, BLAD, what is it, Blad? BLA TV,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
what it's on right now. So we are going to be working on some public announcements for that. But I also think the one thing that the chief was also answering is in regards to our talks with Pepco in general throughout the town to make sure that they are looking at all of our lights throughout the town. And so we are going to be meeting with them in the next few weeks. And actually, we've had some follow-up with Pepco in regards to that. And so there's a lot of work going on regarding lighting. And actually, the town and Mr. Hall and I have been working on our 57th Street lighting, which hopefully will be done at the end of this fiscal year because we do have funding for that. So I think it's not just concentrating, it's concentrating on this area, but also looking throughout the town. And we're also looking at the way that we, at pedestrian intersections, improving those intersections throughout the school areas with LED signs and different signage that you'll see within the next 6 months. So short term, the residents will see some changes around town in regards to some lighting, in regards to the way the pedestrian crossings, and also regards to stop signs, making people more obvious about where those are. So we will be working on those things.
Okay. Chief, also, we also mentioned about perhaps moving the bus stop because, that bus stop is right across the street, where that danger zone is. And you're right, because it's actually 5 lanes because you have 2 lanes one way, and then you have that turning lane. And it may be something else to mention as a long term, that turning lane, part of it kind of freestanding, but another part of it where there's some type of median, something. So I don't know if people, I don't know, but just as another suggestion. So I think our residents see that we are, just leading that charge and trying to make that roadway itself a friendlier roadway because they've had right past the public playhouse where you do have the crossing lanes and everything. That's an issue too. So we're just glad to see that SHA and the legislators in the town that we're continuing to work on making that road a lot pedestrian friendly. I like the fact that we're going to be putting up using our media internally to notify the public and just as public reminders. So thank you, Chief. We appreciate that. All right. So next on the agenda, the flood barriers.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. So the flood barrier project, I just wanted to give a short update on this meeting in regards to a presentation that was made in our work session in regards to the flood barrier projects. The town has been working with Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation on a pilot project in Bladensburg and in general, a lot of our residences have experienced repetitive flooding. In this project, we're going to be working closely with both Prince George's and other counterparts on trying to make sure that we can make some improvements to the Edmonston Road channel. As some of the residents may know, this is the channel towards Taylor Street that is restricted by the Taylor Street culvert. During heavy rainfall, sometimes this tends to overflow or spill over into the yards of people located at 5411 Taylor Street, 5408 Taylor Street, 5116 Spring Road. And then there's some issues in regards to the north sides of this channel and on Tosick, Spring Road, and Taylor as well. It's estimated that about 600 feet of this flood barrier is needed to be installed. On the Quincy Road side, from between the avenues of 55th and 52nd Avenues, there are 14 multifamily households along the Quincy Run that are impacted by excessive flooding by this creek. DPI's floodplain study says that it's not in the flood plan, but we believe that there's some work that needs to be done to this flooding. Over the last several months, we've met with residents in Ward 1. Starting in August, in early August, we had a meeting at Bladensburg Elementary School where we met with the residents in regards to the plan. They had we had probably about 25, 35 residents there that were affected. At that meeting, they were able to talk to Ms. Smith, who is from DPW&T. She is the engineer that's working on this project. In September, she came to our September 11th meeting, made a presentation, and at this meeting, we made another presentation to reach out to residents, but at the same time also to notify the council and the residents that the right-of-way process will begin. So letters will be sent out to affected residents in regards to the right-of-way process. Council and residents will continue to get updates on the process, but this is that meeting to kind of say, this is where we are at the next step, and we just wanted to provide that to the council and to the public.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Okay, and also with I'm kind of helping them out with some kind of question. But and there are just some things that we may have here in our notes. But with the right of way notices going out, because as we stated earlier, you have some residents, well, all the residents are impacted in some way, but the ones that are directly impacted are the ones who did receive damage from the flooding. And but those notices, was there a timeline on that as well?
Councilwoman, those will start to go out in the next few weeks, and I think residents will probably be engaged throughout the month of November and December in regards to those notices.
Okay.
They would like to start to collect signatures or to gain those right-of-way entries within the next month or two so that they can start the project and they can actually start the planning for the project, knowing who's giving entries, who's not.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that so very much. All right. Next, we're down to our public comments.
I do have two public comments that were submitted by email. Would you like me to, but we do have people, okay. Yeah, would you like to?
I think we should do those first.
Okay, sure. So the first one was sent by Ms. Renee Harris. It says, "Good morning. Thank you for your work in posting the Elections Board meeting video. The questions and concerns I had post-election were discussed at the meeting. Knowing that the town is actively working at improving the process is great news. I look forward to learning more about the town when it's ready to report." Comments for the meeting. I read the monthly reports and the same council, and I noticed the same council members and departments don't have anything posted or reports are not up to date. I request the reports be posted. It is helpful to give a full picture of the town. Thank you, Ms. Renee Harris. Our second comment is from Mr. Frank Duff. Mr. Duff says, "Hi, my name is Frank Duff. I live right outside the town at 60th and Jefferson Street at Rogers Heights in Hyattsville. I'm unable to attend your council meeting tonight, but I have a question and comment. I've contacted Autumn Woods several times. I've also emailed the mayor, Mr. Reinhardt, Chief Carlington, Zaneta Sanders, the apartment manager, about new LED lights that are not bright enough in the back parking lot of the building of 5034. I keep emailing and getting no response. I have put back my security lights to make them brighter, but these 180 watts electricity of my Pepco bill has gone way up. I have gotten zero response from anyone. My security lights have been turned off, and it's very dark in the parking lot. On my side of Jefferson, the county side, we have no parking from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. 7 days a week. $100 parking tickets are issued for parking illegally. When we had no parking signs put in, I had them 3 feet on the Prince George's County property so that Autumn Woods Apartments nor the town of Bladensburg could take them out. Anyone who parks on my side of Jefferson Street will get a ticket for $100 if they try to park over here. Now for my comments. I was unable to attend the council meeting tonight, but I do want to publicly thank Chief Collington and his police officers for all you do, and also thank you, Mr. Reinhardt, for making sure that the code issues are done. So thank you, Frank Duff, Rogers Heights, Hyattsville. And that's everything.
Okay. Do we have public comments, live public comments?
You do. You have
Okay,
a,
well,
you
do
have
I
a sign
have
up.
the list?
Did you sign up? That's I
Do I
got.
have a
I'll put your
sign-up
list.
sheet?
I'll bring it. I'll bring you the
Okay.
sign up sheet. Sorry,
Thank you.
Mayor. Amina. Can. Yeah. Sorry. Just Ms. McCutcheon.
Okay, we have Miss Susan McCutcheon, Spring
Sorry.
Road. Come on up, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Susan McCutcheon, 5404 Spring Road. First of all, I do want to also commend the Board of Supervisors of Elections for very responsibly following up and continuing to. It's a tough job, but I think they're doing a great job trying to take care of everything. I would also like to say something about the pedestrian safety. This is not a walkable community, but we have many walkers, let's put it that way. And I think that along with all the wonderful things we're talking about for safety as far as the drivers, we really need to shore up, starting very young, the kids with pedestrian safety, like we used to go practice in school, you know, about how you cross the street, how you look both ways, what you do. But I do want to point out that in Riverdale, for example, they put in, because there were many accidents, they put the medium strips that have beautiful bricks, right, built up to have vegetation, and it's looked wonderful and all that, and people still run across with kids, run up over it, and run up to the other side and run across. So I don't know quite what to do with that, but it is true. They're beautiful. I thought this is really going to help, but people don't want to walk to the light, and they don't want to walk to crossing places. They want to cross where they are. So I don't know how to address that other than really work on pedestrian safety and teaching people from little kids on how to be careful and not just take that extra. And as you, Chief Collington said, just walk up to the light at least. Don't just dash across the street. Then also, I want to say that the Maryland Department of the Environment Tier 2 water quality certification there was an application done by Baltimore, Washington Rapid Rail. Yes, I'm going to talk about maglev again. And the deadline is November 16th. I want to thank the mayor for coming and testifying, giving comments. We're able to get a 2-week extension, not a month, but we did get 2 weeks to November 16th. And the Maryland Coalition for Responsible Transit did send in extensive comments today, and we're encouraging other people to do it. We've done a wide distribution as much as we can. But if Baltimore Washington Rapid Rail gets this permit, it's easy them into getting approval saying, oh, well, with the Federal Railroad Administration, gee, we got water permitting already, so we're certified. So they have another leg up before the project is even determined and the final route is even determined. So we're trying to fight that. And finally, I was able to be at the ribbon cutting of the beautiful new library. It is absolutely gorgeous. At first, I thought the architecture wasn't suited to the historical aspect of the town when I was looking at it, thinking, oh, it's glass, it's metal. But when I went, I now see that it was really visionary. There's a ship inside the library, for heaven's sake. It looks like a ship, and it's gorgeous. And it's just a very positive emphasis. And I do know somebody from New Carrollton Library said, wow, even though they have a newer library too, but they said, wow, this is a great library. And I think it's really great. It's a positive thing for Bladensburg, and it's an identification, it's a brand, and it's bringing people into town, and it can lead to further branding and doing a great job to try to get the streets and the town looking more like a main street rather than just a route. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan McCutcheon. Next on the agenda, unfinished business. None on the agenda for tonight. Financial business. None on the agenda tonight. And next we're going to go into new business. So for the first item, we have contract approval for 8/2024, approval to allow the town administrator to execute a contract with William K. Wood for architectural services for the Bostwick House. And before we go into any motions or call for the vote, I would like for the town administrator to give some contextual framework around this.
Thank you,
item.
Councilwoman. I appreciate that. So this contract today is with Mr. William K. Wood for architectural services for Bostwick House. Mr. K. Wood is a architect that deals with historical structures. This will work on the projects that were attached that were discussed in the previous session, but are also attached to the agenda in regards to stabilization work. The town is asking to contract with him because he has significant knowledge of historical structures, and the scope of the project will cover the stabilization projects with a one-time cost of $25,000. So I'm here to answer any other questions you may have. These funds are being paid out of bond bill proceeds.
Okay, so I'm going to call for the vote. Motion to approve contract 8-2024. Approval to allow the town administrator to execute a contract with William K. Wood for architectural services for the Bostwick House. One-time cost of $25,000.
I so move.
So moved by Councilmember Blunt,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, let it known by the saying of aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Motion approved. Next, we have contract approval 9-2024. Approval to allow the town administrator to execute a contract with Modelex Mid-Atlantic for gateway and town signage in the amount not to exceed $21,228.22.
Councilwoman Brown, thank you again. This is an item that would allow me to enter into a contract with Modex of Mid-Atlantic, which is a Maryland company, and for signage for the gateways of our town. Attached to this item are two pictures of what the signage will look like. They will be large town seals at the main gateways that are going to be over 6 feet tall apiece that say welcome to Bladensburg, and they will be posted signs much like the ones that you may see in some of the other towns. I'm not going to name drop any of the other towns because we're better. But there are other cities and towns down the Kenilworth that have beautiful signs like this that will say welcome to, and they have their town seals. What this is an all-inclusive price in regards to the sign fabrication, the poles, and installation. I am asking for a not to exceed amount for the entire amount. I will be working with Mr. Hall and his staff to see what their schedule and their comfort is in regards to installing the signs, because we do have a very capable staff that can do some of this installation that may reduce the cost of the signage. Mr. Hall is looking at that in regards to his schedule this winter and fall. I'm a go, go, go person, and I'd love to see these up as soon as possible, because I think our signs are in need of replacement. The next round of signage that will be replaced after this will be the ones for Sunnybrook and for the the one at the industrial park that have different writing, which we are going to bring that back as a separate item. I'm here to answer any other questions you may have, but this is a not to exceed price. The town will work to mitigate costs where we can, but this is everything included.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth. But before I call for the vote, is there a town sign? I said I was going to look today, but there was so much traffic on Bladensburg Road from Eastern Avenue coming to Bladensburg. So I was like, oh my goodness, I had to take a different route. There was some activity going on. But is there a Welcome to Bladensburg sign when you cross the bridge beside the Bladensburg Waterfront Park? Going into that?
I don't think there is an existing one there right now, is there?
Mr. Hall.
Yeah.
With State Highway, the ones that we maintain the property, so I don't see why it would be a problem. All that they probably would want is, let me see some drawings, let me see what it look like, so we can just go ahead and install. But it is in the making, yes, ma'am.
I love to hear relationships.
And the ones that we are proposing are the ones that we already have the right-of-way in place for. So that's the reason why we're going after those. But if what we can do is, that's the reason why we want to pick adaptable signage that can be put in all these different places. So you may have the pole, or you may have the larger one, depending on the amount of right-of-way that's available. So we will come back to you, seeing how these look, and you can
absolutely.
be able to make that.
Okay, Councilmember Blunt.
Will there be lighting or reflectors showing, like, in the night, showing the sign?
These are reflective signs. These are highly reflective signs.
Okay.
And if we determine whether it needs some kinds of lighting, we currently do not have lighting in any of these areas right now. So that would be something that we would have to add, but these are highly reflective signs that you should be able to see at night. But if there are some LEDs that are solar, that we can find a solution, we can work on that. I think that we're doing some neat things with LEDs right now, and I think that we might be able to find something to illuminate these as well.
Councilmember McBride.
Yeah, I think if we did have lighting, it would calm some of that traffic down that comes around the Peace Cross. It kind of intertwines and it's confusing.
So, Councilmember, the one other thing that we've put in a couple different conversations, and I think this whole conversation that we're looking at with pedestrian safety and with SHA, in regards to the Peace Cross, it's come up a lot. So I think that's one of the things that we are really looking at there, not only with the signage, but just to try to make it less hectic. And when the Lieutenant Governor was here, we did mention this as a big issue for all the port towns, not just Bladensburg. And so that was really kind of received. And I think right now we have a really unique opportunity, Chief, and with our conversations with SHA, is to sort of talk about this. We've been talking about the Peace Cross intersection for a long time. And I think we have an opportunity now to kind of look at making that much better for people and making it more walkable. So I think because that's another area that can be very dangerous.
Thank you. Thanks so much for that. Thank you, Councilman McBride. All right, so I'm going to call for the vote. So motion to approve contract 929-2024. Approval to allow the town administrator to execute a contract with Model X Mid-Atlantic for gateway and town signage in the amount not to exceed $21,228.22.
I so move.
So moved by Councilmember Blunt,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Ayes have it, motion pass. Next on the agenda, contract approval 10-2024. Approval to allow the town administrator to enter into an agreement with the State of Maryland Office of Broadband Services for the 2023 Maryland Connected Devices Grant Program. So the town administrator should give us a little framework behind that particular project.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
So this is a grant that we applied for from the State of Maryland Office of Broadband Services. The Connected Devices Grant for 2023 is a grant that gives computers to people that are that qualify for certain federal programs and have a certain income level threshold. The town has asked for a total of 125 devices. 50 of them have now been designated for Bladensburg residents. We are working with the other port towns, Colmar Manor, Cottage City, and Edmonston on this program. And we will be rolling out information very shortly. This item allows me to execute that grant so that I can bring back more information and start the public process. With that, the town of Bladensburg wrote the grant and is the sponsor of the grant. The other towns, we use all of our data in order to apply for the grant. So it's one of the cooperative things that we've been working on with the other towns in the area. And this was a very quick turnaround. The grant only came out about a month and a half ago, and we wrote it within a week working
Right.
with the other towns.
That's
So
good. Is there any questions from the council? Councilmember Blunt?
I know about 2 years ago, we did get computers and we gave it to the seniors, to the senior buildings. I think we gave 10 each to the senior buildings. So how would you all distribute these? I'm sure no seniors at this particular time because we did do that already.
So we will not, the connected devices will be, I mean, if someone qualifies, it's only one per household. And through this round, I believe the PC people did not have the same strings attached as these do. So this is more regulated, but I don't think that necessarily people would be not allowed to get it if they met the income threshold issue. But it's only one per household, and we have a limited number. So we only have a total of 50. So it will really depend on the qualifications and the need based on that. So we're going to put together some. Once we sign this, we'll be putting together some paperwork because we'll have to report on certain things in regards to what programs that person's qualified for, and but there's no age, I guess, age limitation. It could either be for a single person, it could be for a family, but it's only one per household. Does that make sense, Councilwoman?
Yeah, what if, that's a lot of people in Bladensburg, and that's fit those qualifications. Would there be any way that you, probably not, but check and see if they already received one free from the schools because,
Yes.
before, okay.
That's what,
Thank you.
so we can add, because of the limited number, we can add things to say that if people are, if you've already have a device, things like that, it's
Vetting
really the people
process.
that, there's barriers that you currently don't have anything that can enter the internet, so, yeah. And there's, and Councilwoman Brown, to answer your question in regards to access to the internet, there are companion programs, once you qualify for this, that'll give you access to the internet for free with the libraries and things like that. So they're sort of companion programs. So once you qualify for this program, you may also qualify for the internet service, but there are two separate programs. We're given the computer, the library gives the internet, so they're two different grants. So I just wanted to answer that question because I know that was asked of me, and I wanted to make sure it was answered
Okay.
on the record.
Yes, and then, yeah, because we'll have to look at the distribution of that since we only have, 50, and you have wards 1 and 2. Now, the other question, though, but if there are residents who, who live in Bladensburg and they want to directly apply, for a connected device, can they, or is it only through this grant program, or do we know?
These were given to the port towns as an allotment.
Okay.
There may be additional ones within Prince George's County. When we applied for the grant, it wasn't clear that the county also applied. But I guess since we got it, maybe they didn't, and these are only done by, so there was supposed to be, if the county applied at one big grant, they were supposed to get them. So when I was a little shocked that we got our 125 and not knowing if the county got them or how they applied for
Okay.
them. So,
All right,
yeah.
okay. All right, so I want to call for the vote. It's a motion to approve contract 10/2024, approval to allow the town administrator to enter into an agreement with the State of Maryland Office of Broadband Services for the 2023 Maryland Connected Devices Program.
So move.
So moved by Councilmember McBride,
A second.
seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Ayes have it, motion approved. Next line item, Resolution 1/2024, a resolution authorizing the town administrator to apply to the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development on the behalf of the town of Bladensburg for Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG, funding for PY 50 for infrastructure projects, example, roadway and sidewalks. All right. Now, the town administrator will give us a little excerpt on that as well.
Sure. Thank you, Councilwoman Brown again. So this is a grant for the annual CDBG program. This is year 50 of CDBG program. I guess I'm going to be 50 and the program's 50. So there we go. So 50 years ago, this was developed in Prince George's County. The funding cycle is open to all municipalities that are part of the CDBG area. CDBG is the Community Block Grant money that is designated to low to moderate income areas. So the town usually applies for infrastructure or community programs. We usually target infrastructure like sidewalks and roadways that will have the most good in our community, and because of the fact that that infrastructure crosses all sorts of demographics, especially in this town, it'll give the most good to everyone in the town. So we are going to look for those funding so that we can either do some resurfacing and some replacement of sidewalks in areas throughout the town. So that's what our application will be for.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finished?
Done.
You good? You good? I didn't want to. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Town Administrator Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth. Call for the vote. Motion to approve Resolution 1/2024.
I so move.
No, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm
One
sorry.
second. Do you want to? We're going to read the resolution. We're going to. We want to read it into the.
Oh,
you want,
okay.
yes.
Get it. Okay.
We want to read it into the record first,
Sure.
and then we'll call for the vote.
This is a resolution authorizing the town administrator to apply for Prince George's County Housing and Community Block Grant Development on behalf of the town of Bladensburg for Community Block Grant, CDBG, funding for PY 50 for infrastructure projects. Whereas the town of Bladensburg and the mayor and town council approved the town administrator submitting an application to the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development on behalf of the town of Bladensburg, Community Block Grant, PY 50, and whereas the town wants to support the quality of life for its residents through the use of CDBG PY 50 for roadways and projects and sidewalk repairs, whereas the CDBG PY 50 provides financial assistance to municipalities and communities in Prince George's County, and whereas the town supports the town staff efforts and wishes to submit an application to the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development requesting for funding for infrastructure projects within the town. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council hereby fully support and approve the submission of an application to CDBG PY50 program and approve the final submission of the application subject to the non-substantive changes by the town attorney and town administrator, which may be deemed appropriate. Be it further resolved that this resolution be adopted this 13th day of November 2023 and shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Thank you. So now I would like to call for the vote. Motion to approve Resolution 1-2024, a resolution authorizing the town administrator to apply for the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development on the behalf of the town of Bladensburg for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, funding for PY50 for infrastructure projects.
I so moved.
So moved by Councilmember Black,
A second.
seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion has been approved. Next, we have Resolution 2024, a resolution authorizing the town administrator to apply to the Chesapeake Bay Trust on behalf of the town of Bladensburg for the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program funding for town projects. So would you like to read the resolution?
I can.
So I think because the resolution covers everything, right?
Resolution number 2-2024, a resolution authorizing the town administrator to apply for Chesapeake Bay CBT on behalf of the town of Bladensburg for the Prince George's County Stormwater and Stewardship Grant Program for funding of town projects. Whereas the town of Bladensburg and the mayor and town council fully approve and support the town administrator submitting an application for the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program on behalf of the town for funding. And whereas the town of Bladensburg supports the goals of Prince George's County within the sustainability goals of Prince George's County within the projects of that the town is submitting. Whereas Prince George's County Stormwater Grant Program provides grants to municipalities, communities in Prince George's County. And whereas the town of Bladensburg supports these efforts and wishes to submit an application for Prince George's County Stormwater Grant Stewardship Program requesting funding for green infrastructure projects within the town. Be it therefore resolved that the mayor and town council hereby approve the submission of an application to the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Program. The final submission of the application is subject to non-substantive revisions and applications by the town attorney and town administrator, which they may deem appropriate. Be it further resolved that the resolution be and hereby adopted this 13th day of November 2023 and shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Thank you again, Town Administrator Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth. So I call for the vote. Motion to approve Resolution 2-2024, a resolution authorizing the Town Administrator to apply to the Chesapeake Bay Trust, CBT, on behalf of the Town of Bladensburg for the Prince George's County Stormwater Stewardship Grant Program funding for our town projects.
I so moved.
So moved by Councilmember Black,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any abstentions or discussion? Thank you. Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion approved. All right, now we're down to the next good part of it. Staff reports. All right, so the first report is the treasurer report. Our treasurer, I think, is online, but town administrator, Mrs. Hedgepeth, do we have anything for that, or we would just his reports are posted and we move on?
His reports will be posted. He's
Yes.
working through them. I know right now Mr. Tonelli is working with the auditors, and that is a very busy process, and he will be putting up a report shortly.
Okay.
It looks like he's
Oh,
he's coming up. Here you go.
Oh,
I'm gonna put myself on mute.
all right.
Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust this light. 1 second. Sorry about that. Much better. Coming through okay? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, we are heavily involved in the audit right now. It's a little bit more work because of the ARPA funding. With the ARPA funding, with the amount of funds going through there for our um, rental assistance programs primarily, it takes some more testing, so it's actually done under like a separate audit guideline. But and I hope to have an audit report, at least a preliminary one, by the December meeting, a draft, but it probably won't be final until the end of December. So hopefully we'll have something to you within a month. And I apologize for not having a full financial report for this month, but there will be one by the December meeting, and have a chance to go through the financials with everybody by then.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Tonelli.
Yep.
Next, public safety and code enforcement.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief. I want to start off, I know it's, we should be doing October, but I do want to take this moment to acknowledge all of the veterans. And I know that Mr. Steve Weiss is here with us, and I want to thank him and all the veterans, those that have served and continue to serve this country and this nation in the military. So I salute you as well. And Rick, I can't see Mr. Gray behind the glass there. Thank you. I tell people all the time, if I can hit the reset button, I'll do my 22 years all over again. I enjoyed his best career I've had besides this one. We did have the opportunity on October the 28th, we celebrated with the community during the Blade Fest, and I want to give a shout out to everyone that helped facilitate that and organize it. Mr. Ray Jeffries, as well as our town staff, Ms. Hedgepath. I just want to thank everyone that participated in that. Everyone did a great job with that, and thank the community for coming out. On the 14th, we had our Fula. I never liked that word. Fala Palooza, which was another amazing event, town event. And again, a shout out to everyone involved in that. On the 28th, we had our National Drug Take Back. And we want to thank the community for showing up and dropping off, discarding their old medications. On the 28th was also First Responder Day. Again, want to thank all of our first responders, our fire department, everyone for the job that they do, because what they do on the front lines and behind the lines keep our community safe every day. And I think, upcoming events. December the 9th, we have our Shop with a Cop event. That will be at Port Towns, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on the 13th, we have Night with Santa, and that will be from 5 to 8 p.m. At Seton. So we encourage the community to come out and participate in that for our Christmas events. And that concludes my reports.
Yule log?
Yes, the Yule log.
December 1st.
December 1st. Yeah, I didn't have that on my list, but thank you. Yule log. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. And next we will have Public Works.
Yep. Here you go.
I thought it was gonna go through code. Good afternoon, Mayor and Mayor and Council and residents and staff. I can be brief. It was just a few little things that Public Works did. First of all, I want to recommend. I want to say thanks to Gambino Cardoza and also Ronald Austin for attending and helping set up for the Blade Fest at the Bladensburg High School. And also in the 5200 block of Newton Street, Public Works repaired no parking and fire hydrant signs. And we also assisted with Mr. Jeffries with the haunted house, taking down the supplies and storing them. And Public Works also assisted Mayor James with the Growing Green event around the town of Bladensburg. We planted flowers. We did new flower beds. Excuse me. Okay, we as Miss Hedgepass has said, we've been talking to the town engineer about replacing sidewalks and some street millings and overlaying. Okay, and we also attended the election official and administrative staff retreat. Public Works cut up and remove overgrown vegetation hanging low to the sidewalk in the 5400 block of Tarsick Road. Public Works installed reserve handicap sign in the 4400 block of 56th Avenue. And back to this handicap sign, the town of Bladensburg do not issue out handicap signs. We have to get a request from State Highway. They send it to me, and then we put up the sign. I have plenty of questions about what kind of town put it up. Yeah, we put it up when we get a request from the State Highway. And also, Mr. Hall, as Mr. Hedgepass talked about Will Signers from Joe Movement. We've been working successfully with him and planting trees around the town. And also we'll be working with Miss Patricia from Seacog, also to be planting trees around the town, down at the Emerson Bioswales we have down there. And also, surprise, everybody been waiting for the leaf machine. Leaf machine, we're gonna start up November the 27th, but I'm thinking, and I know we haven't put it in the web yet, but we have, as everybody can see, we have a lot of leaves that's starting to come down early. So I think maybe towards the end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to take a little pre-run just because we have leaves that people have piled already out there. No, we didn't tell them, but try to make the town look a little bit clean and neat for Thanksgiving. And that way, that'll give y'all a sight vision to see the machine and get ready for it the following week. And that concludes my report. Mayor and Council, any questions? It was just brief, but we trying to get ready for, the weather change and everything.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
looking forward to that leaf blower. Thank you so
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it. Any questions from the council? All right, next we'll have our town administrator.
Nothing from code enforcement, but my report is submitted in writing, and I gave an earlier report, so I'm going to just say as submitted so that we can go home. It's getting close to 8:15, so I don't want to keep everyone from their evening.
All right, council. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
Just
Sean.
want to give one quick update. The updates for Quincy Street in Ward 1, they should be starting the one-way traffic pattern next week.
Oh,
So everything's finally came in that they were looking to do. There's been a couple of delays.
okay.
But Quincy Street, starting the week of 11/20, the one-way traffic pattern should start going in effect.
Oh,
So that's just an update for the council.
oh, that's a good update. And as they are doing so, Mr. Sean, as they're doing so with the signs that go around that bend past Quincy on the 52nd, you have one sign that's pointing traffic one way, one sign pointing.
They were out there today correcting that.
they were-
Yeah, they were out there today correcting that.
Okay, thank you so very much for that. That's that's very well needed. So let me just keep the order. So the council, would you all like to forego your report? You want to forego your reports? Okay, so Councilmember McBride, Councilmember Blunt, we're going to forego their reports, and I will as well. But I will like to wrap up by saying again, thank you to all of our veterans. My dad was a veteran. I have a family, of veterans as well. Some, still here. Some who've made their transition. So we definitely thank you all for your service. And as I've said before, the thank you is 365 days a year. Because without you all, some of our rights and our what we have and liberties that we are afforded right now, you all stood on the front lines for us. So definitely, just always continues to thank you for that and remembering that every day. want to just real quick for the Fatuga family. Once again, the condolences to that family and any families who have suffered some deceased of their loved ones because of some public safety. So, and thank you, Chief, and the town administrator and the legislators. People all of us coming together, and even residents coming together to see how that we can make this a more pedestrian safety, walkable community, and that's very important. In terms of that, I do want to mention very very quickly. We're going to start having public safety meetings on Saturdays at least once every 2 months. So be looking forward to that when we start that. It's either going to be in December or January. We're looking at the calendar now, so because the conversation will continue and input from the community continues as well, and so just be on the lookout for that. And the upcoming events now. The town administrator, Mrs. Hedger, I know you talked about some of the upcoming events during the work session, but are there any other ones that you may want to highlight real quick for the residents who are still connected?
So December 1st is Yule log. December 5th is council swearing in. December 9th, we have our food giveaway for the Thanksgiving, and I'm sorry, for the holiday, and for our Thanksgiving, we have one on the 18th of November. So immediately coming up, there's November 18th food giveaway. And I did forget one more thing. We have the Port Town Sector Plan, which is also December 6th. So we have a lot of things going on in late November, early December. So if there's anything else, it'll be, Ray has come up with a nice, I think it's called some kind of, he did something with the word December. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like something like Bladensburg December, but something. So you'll see that, and it'll advertise everything in the month of December, and also have some January. We also have Martin Luther King Day coming up on January 15th that week, and we'll have an event for community service, a day of service. So we have a lot of things going on very quickly.
Thank you so much for giving those event updates. And you can also go to the website, and if you're not on the listserv, email Ray, or call the town and give them your email address, because we're always trying to increase our listserv, because we have some very very good information. And then if not, definitely go to the website. And so I guess go ahead, Chief. Oh,
Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. Go ahead, come on, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Huh? Oh, we're hiring. Yes, I'm sorry, we're hiring as well. I forgot.
Yeah,
We're hiring
the town clerk. Go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead.
We're
The
hiring,
town clerk.
we're hiring for our beautification team, and there'll be some new positions on our website in the next month. So for a town clerk, will be open very shortly.
Yes. So don't forget to go to the website. We have some really, really good information on our website. So we encourage our residents, like I said, if you're not on the listserv, definitely go to the website. We want to hear back from you. We want your input. We want you to be participatory, to participate with us. So anything else for the good of the order?
Great job, Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, well, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. I did the mayor good, huh? But I didn't get a chance to use the gavel. Oh, so want to close? Okay, I'll close it with it. Okay, but I got to hit it 3 times that time. All right, so what we're gonna call for the vote. We at that time of the meeting where we're gonna adjourn. Call for the vote to motion to adjourn the meeting.
I so moved.
So moved by Councilmember Blunt.
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.